So today we're going to take a look at a scenario where civilization starts over. We're now on episode 22 of the series, and in the last episode we saw a few wars happen over here in Southeast Asia. We also saw the Star Alliance carve out the country that was once here. We also saw the red team invade the two countries that were in Africa right here. But most importantly of all, the leader of Azerbaijan died. He's now deceased and died of old age, and he has two sons. Both are twins, and both want power inside Azerbaijan. And I'll get back to this later, because our daily Japan update, because you cannot miss it, except for the time I missed it in episode 18, which I'm still sorry about that. And for a daily Japan update, the teal or dark cyan country is going to invade the Hokkaido country. And this was probably the weaker of the Japanese states, so it was pretty easy to invade this thing. And it gets cut off in two, and this thing surrenders quite easily over to the teal country, because it basically had no chance. It was by far the weakest of the Japanese states. It was the strongest of the Hokkaido states, as they managed to get control over the entire island. But it was all in vain, because teal country invaded the red country. And now Japan has only 3 countries. Wow, so much can change in so many episodes. Now let's get to what I was talking about earlier. Now, as I was saying before we had to do the daily Japan update, the heritage to the throne is supposed to be one of the twin brothers, and nobody can decide how they are going to get elected into power. So the second in command, like the cabinet of Azerbaijan, proposes an idea. How about you two duke it out till death? But the only problem with that is that the twin brothers really like each other. They have that healthy twin brother dynamic, and they are not a fan of the idea of killing each other. And then one of the members of the cabinet proposes this. How about come on, listen up. You know how we have some problems of instability here and there, over in the farther reaches of the empire? Well, how about we split the empire into 2, but they are linked together, but we just split it in half, and we see if that works, and if it works for a while, then the plan is a go. And both twin brothers like this idea, and they decide to put the plan into action. And now we are going to see how Azerbaijan is going to be split into north and south, or east and west, depending on who you ask. And the splitting looks like this: is north and south, or east and west. I'd say the western one is better off than the eastern one, but these two are closely linked together. But that might change in a bit. Next up, the Somalian country is going to expand more into Africa while they have the chance, and they seek Lake Victoria, and decide to move a lot of people here, and they find this lake, which I probably should know the name of, but I don't for whatever reason. So, yeah. And they also make it to this lake, which I still don't know the name of, but I do know that this lake's name is Lake Malawi and this Lake Victoria. But that's about all I know. And they continue to encircle all these lakes. I don't like them saying the word what? Why am I saying the word encircle so much? But they decide to expand into Zanzibar. And yeah, that is that. And then this Mozambican country, he gets the memo that Somalia is trying to give them, and they decide to expand as well. And both sides are close to meeting up. And then they decide to make an agreement. They make an agreement that Somalia, I'm going to actually call this country Tanzania from now on, Tanzania and Mozambique will form a puppet state here. Well, not a puppet state, a buffer state. I don't know why I said puppet, but it's a buffer state, right? In here to prevent from both worlds colliding, if that makes any sense at all. Then, unwillingly, Tanzania is going to sign an agreement with Arabia, splitting down this land over here. Next up, the European powers finally have the funds to continue their colonization endeavors, and that's what they're gonna do. The first thing that's gonna happen here, and actually a pretty major one, the French Union is going to explore more into the Americas, finding more land and more random people that they because they're not ignore going into Ireland. And the French Union sees this and they're like, you know what? Let's focus on our South American colony more. The French Union takes these lands and they're like, hey, we are done here in North America. We are going to focus on our other colony down below. So we are done with this colony, expanding this colony for now, and you guys can just do whatever you want now. So, and the other colonizers look at the message and they're like, let's expand. And Scotland, hearing this news, is going to immediately put all of their colonization funds into exploring and colonizing even more of North America. And they find and explore California, and they see gold, and they're like, ooh, money, money. And they mine a lot of the gold, and now more people are coming here. They're selling here to get the gold, and it's basically like a gold rush. And the French Union is like, maybe we shouldn't have stopped, but too late now. But yeah, as I was saying, Scotland continues to explore the western coast of the United States, and they decide to form two groups of exploration instead of one big one. One that will basically just go wherever they please, and one that will stick along the coast. The one that sticks along the coast is the more favored one, as they discover Vancouver Island and the Washington coast, and this island over here. And then these guys meet up and they basically explore. Whoops. They basically explore all of this land. Now Scotland is going to start colonizing this land. And like I said, Scotland is going to immediately move over here, taking as much land and as they can. And they do so swiftly. And I'd say that these guys are probably in the top half of colonizers who actually treat their colonies good. And they decided to focus more on California since they want all the gold over here. And they decide to work their way along the coast, while setting up a port over here in Vancouver Island. And they continue to explore over in the mainland pretty well. And now most of their colonization team is exhausted, and Scotland is going to stop expanding for now. And then a country is going to explore Alaska, and this isn't any European power. So, dear viewer, you might be wondering, who is this civilization and exploring in Alaska, going along where Anchorage is in real life, meeting up with the Scottish explorers over here? Well, dear viewer, you ask and you shall receive. The colonizer that isn't European and it's exploring Alaska, it's no other than little Siberia. Siberia is not as weak as you might think. Now, as I was saying before my dog rudely interrupted me, Manchuria, or Siberia in this case, is not as weak as you might think. Sure, Korea toppled them a while back, but I'd say they are number 18 in power rankings. And yeah, they're just not as weak as you might think. They're not that strong, but they are strong enough in which they can colonize and afford it, and not go bankrupt like some countries might have done in our timeline. But yeah, Manchuria is just way more efficient at colonizing than you might think. The other colonizers, let's say that they're expending resources that they could have used more efficiently. And that is what makes Manchuria so efficient at colonizing. Since they don't expend most of their resources all in one go and just wait to do it later, they actually save up and don't use it once, which is insane to think about. But yeah, Manchuria makes it to about there. They decide to have a border with the Scottish. But yeah, Manchuria is in North America, so to all the Manchuria fans out there, you guys are probably sleeping well tonight. Probably. Because, actually, I'm not gonna say what I was about to say, but I'm just talking a lot so I can do the filling in of Manchuria's territory all in one go, so I don't have to make a cut here or pause the recording. And so yeah, you guys are just hearing me blabber on for a while, but yeah, Manchuria gets about all of that land for now. Now the Irish are gonna finally do something. Feels like they haven't in a while, but yeah, they are going to continue colonizing and kind of make a spearhead over here, and they find nothing. So they decide to come back and decide, okay, let's stop colonizing for a bit and let's just explore. That's what they do now. They did the spearhead that was really costly to colonize, but not so much to explore. So bad job, Ireland should have done that beforehand. But yeah, they find the Scottish colony over here, and they thought it was there, so they're happy that they found it. And now comes an exploration team to find out what is going on over here. And the French Union, they're not going to colonize any of this, but they are going to help out in the exploration of this, since they they don't have bad, necessarily hostile relations with any of the colonizers here. Like, they have friendly relations with Ireland. Scotland's relations are iffy, since they are in the opposite alliance, but they don't have nasty relations unlike some countries. But yeah, the exploration and over here is overall all pretty worth it for all the countries here. And the French Union discovers Yellowstone, and they're like, whoa, and that's it. All of this gets explored within, like, I'd say a few weeks or months. You guys can decide how long it took for this to happen. And now the European parts are going to carve up this, and the French Union is like, okay, I'm going to just take a little bit, but not that much. Let's see how the European powers decide to carve up this land. And the division looks about like that, and it begins the curse of the straight line. Ugh. Do not like this, but my brain feels wrong when I don't see any straight lines on a map, so you have to deal with this. And now that will be it for North America for this episode. Next up, the red team is finally gonna do something, and they are going to explore the rest of the Peruvian coast along with all of modern day Peru, I think. At least I think this is about modern day Peru. And they also work together with Wales to explore more of this land over here. And they meet up with the Iberian explorers. I nearly said forces for some reason. But they decide to work together as one united exploring front. And so far, so good. And then they find the Andes Mountains, and they're like, okay, we should probably go around that for now. Now it says Wales, but the red team's like, nuh-uh. And they decide to explore down in between the two mountain ranges into the valley. And they do pretty good. They even make it to like modern day Santiago, and decide to stop here and head back towards the main exploring front. And Wales is a bit mad at the Red Iberians, but they're not gonna say anything for now, and they're just going to continue exploring here and make it about to there. And they're like, alright, we should probably split the land between the two of us. But Wales, right before they explore all this, decide to work together a bit with the French Union, much to the red team's dismay, to explore about this land. And now we're gonna see how Wales and the red team are going to divide up this land. And the split looks about like that, fairly even, I'd say. The French Union is going to explore on their own, doing their own feats, and they think that there might be fertile land over here, and they find not what they're looking for. They decide to cross the Andes Mountains, and they find red team explorers, and they're like, so can we just say that we explored this land and be done with this? The red team is like, sure. And the French Union is going to expand their colony a bit, about that much, and the Americas are slowly starting to get filled in. Now, the last event of this video is North Azerbaijan, kind of like basically they start to do a bit of things that South Azerbaijan doesn't like. And I'd say that South Azerbaijan is less people-friendly than North Azerbaijan. So the twin brother relationship is kind of switching gears to not a healthy one. And the final nail in the coffin for this twin brother relationship is South Azerbaijan joining the Square Alliance. And North Azerbaijan is like, whoa, why did you do that? And South Azerbaijan is like, you can't dictate who I'm going to ally with. And North Azerbaijan is like, alright, bet. And they decide to join the Circle Alliance, the polar opposite of the Square Alliance. So yeah, relations have really soured between these two guys. But anyway, that will do it for today's episode of What If Civilization Started Over. Please leave a like and subscribe, smash the notification bell, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. I'll see you on the flip side. Bye!